Salutations, viewers. Welcome to BookExpo America 2015. I am Charles from Full Coverage Writers, coming to you today with Tom Morrison, author of How to Get People to Scream Your Name and Beg for More. Thank you for joining us today. I was curious about just what is your book about?
Well, Charles, the book is about, in life, when all of us as humans reach college or high school, we always have this vision of what we think our life's going to be, the quality of life. But many people you talk to today, if you surveyed them, they're living so much less than that. And the book is really about the keys to closing that gap, where every day we're living that quality of life we want. We're being who we want to be. And how to get people to scream your name kind of comes from all these people in this book show. There's a lot of people in here that will pass our life and have answers for us, things that they can do to help us. And the book is about how to live your life so that people want to be fans of yours. They want to, when you ask for help, they want to help. They want to be there for you. So it kind of encapsulates all that into three components that you must manage in your life in order to make all of that happen and live that great quality of life.
And what would those three pieces be?
The three pieces, there's 4 areas of life that you really need to plan, which is boiled down to your financial, your relationships, your career, and your physical health. Those 4 things, you need to have a plan for those. And then there's 4 areas that dominate and control the success of you managing 99% of that. And that is, it's your choices, how you invest your money, how you spend your time, and the people you surround yourself with. How you act in those 4 things are going to dictate the success of those 4 areas. And then there's 4 characteristics that you must have in order to do those well. And one is have the ability to adapt. You need to be able to persevere, and you need to be able to communicate well, and you need to have a good attitude. So all those things are linked to having it right here in your heart, because you can't give in your life what you don't have. And so many people are faking their life because they're just kind of got this facade, but inside, their quality of life is really rotting away. And my book's about how to turn that into joy and happiness every single day.
I'm already sold.
Awesome. There's a lot of copies right here for you.
What brought about writing this story? Like, what made you put it all together?
Well, a lot of people come to these book shows, or I put on conferences for a living, and we hire these big name speakers, and you get this billionaire up there that's telling people about how to live life to be successful. And many people in the crowd are, they're not making $1 billion, and they leave and they go, you know what, that may work for the billionaire, but it doesn't work for me. So my goal in my book was to, I'm a regular guy who's been through a lot of valleys. I'm very transparent in the very first chapter about, my life's been touched by divorce twice. It's been touched by bankruptcy years ago after divorce. I've had to look my children in the eye one day and say, you know what, guys, Daddy's not going to be coming home tomorrow because Mommy and Daddy don't get along. Very painful times. I've been unemployed so I've been a lot of places people have been. But the question for many people is, how does regular people come out of those regular valleys to live a regular life and be happy in that regular life, knowing that 99% of us will probably never be billionaires? And so the book is about connecting those dots so you know how to wake up every day. Even in debt, the studies show that I just read a study that 2/3 of people have some level of money in debt collections. Yep. We all know 50% of marriages fail and 60% never graduate college. So a lot of places people can jump into valleys. And how do you live an exciting, fulfilled life in those valleys and move up to where you're really on top of the mountain again? So the book helps you have some very systematic thinking in how you do that.
I can't think of a single person that doesn't need that book.
Parents are going to love this book because I've written it. I've got, my wife and I have 3 kids in their early 20s, all married. And I wrote it through the perspective of what I would have always wanted to teach them, knowing what I know now at 51, what would I have wanted to know back in the 20s. And I taught it I write it from the perspective of parents would want to give this book to their kids in college, to give it to them, because it's the things they would want them to know about planning for their life in almost every area. And then there's people that are in their later years that are wanting to know, how do I leave my legacy? We all know the old, what do you call when you reach 40, 50, midlife crisis.
Yep.
Well, many people get to that, men and women these days. And my book is about how do you come out of that midlife crisis and leave that legacy that you want to be to your next generation. So really, I like what you said. There is really no stone I've tried to make unturned, and I try and touch everybody at some capacity.
Nice. Could you tell us a short story of, throughout the process of all this, something that really stuck out as either very challenging or a eureka moment? Like, what really stuck out throughout the whole process of concept creation to, hey, the book is done?
It was really kind of fun. I wrote the entire book in 41 days, which is a real challenge for me.
That's impressive.
In high school, I mean, I remember asking the publisher, so how many pages does the book need to be? And she looked at me and says, a good book with depth's about 250 pages. And I had a hard time writing 10-page term papers in high school.
Yep.
So I'm immediately thinking very challenged at that level. But then I turned around, but what this book taught me is when you are passionate about anything in your life, it took me about 3 hours to write the first paragraph, but my wife would tell you, once I got in the groove after that first paragraph, the rest of the book just kind of flowed naturally, because I was all of a sudden feeling this presence of, here's my chance to tell the world about how they can live their life so they can be happy each and every day. And throughout the book, I tell very transparent stories about things with me and my son, me and my kids, me and my wife, just things that people can really relate to. And I think that's what people will find in the book mostly, is that they will relate to almost every part of the book, because I went through what they're probably experiencing right now.
Very interesting. And you kind of touched on it here and there, but we like to ask our interviewees, what inspires you to do what you do?
Well, you know, people inspire me. I in my life, a lot of my friends say I'm the consummate 24-hour life coach. I love when I get to look in someone's eyes and they're experiencing pain and sorrow, and something I say, something I do, some way I help them brings a smile, and you can see in their eyes a little bit of teary-eyed where they actually get life now. And they all of a sudden, they feel like they have hope, and they have a path to going from what I call pain and sorrow to joy and fulfillment in their life. Even in the moment they're in that pain, they actually, when they feel that hope, that's what gets me right here. I just absolutely love that. And that's kind of what inspires me.
Those are incredibly powerful moments. So.
Big time. Because I've experienced them. I've had people say something to me and the light went on, and the rest of my life for that year was just amazing. Even though I was still experiencing some of the pain, but I was growing out of it at that point. So yeah, it's just powerful stuff.
Very nice. And to our viewers and listeners out there, where can people find your book?
You know, the book is available in audio right now on Amazon.com. You just go in there and search Scream Your Name Book. It'll pop right up. But come July 4th, the book is going to be launching in its printed version July 4th on, and I hope all of y'all go get it, give it to your kids and people around you. You know, another really good big thing about this, someone asked me, a lot of troubles in the home are playing themselves out in the workplace because people are really not dysfunctional at home, but it's really tough these days in the home. And this book is about making personal development a key issue. So employers buying this book and giving it to their employees and saying, this is a gift from me to help you just kind of be the best you can be at your life. Here's a book that has kind of the keys to doing that, because if you have happy people at home, they will come and be happy, productive people in the workplace. So that's another
it really does translate over.
Exactly. That's another facet that I've wrote the book through, is how can people be happier at home to come to work and be satisfied in the workplace as well and be better for their jobs.
So basically, everyone should read this book.
Everybody over the age of 10 should probably read this book.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for all the time. It's been fantastic.
Well, Charles, thank you very much for the time, and I hope everybody gets the book, and I hope it speaks into everyone's life that touches it.